I am back here opening more trading card packs. It is just me. My partner in crime is off playing video games. He is not actually a big Magic fan. He's not familiar with it. I'm piquing his interest a little bit in it, just by me getting back into it. I used to be a big player way back in the day, high school, college age, but faded off as I grew up and, time got away from me. But I've definitely been getting back into it lately. When I was younger, I mostly collected. I never played in any tournaments or anything other than with just friendly stuff. But I played constantly. But I mostly collected. I had tons of cards. I was always building new decks, always organizing and sorting my cards, and I just had a huge collection. And then when I stopped playing, that collection sat idle for years, and I finally went back to it, and I've actually started selling parts of my collection, vending cards at card shows, and that's caused me to get back into Magic and pique my interest. I've been playing in Arena a bit just because I'd rather do that than play with the cards. It's tough to hoard the cards and collect them like I used to now that I'm a old man. But I do still buy the cards, and I've been vending them at card shows and trading at card shows and having a lot of fun with it. So here are cards from 3 different sets that I'm going to open from today. The Final Fantasy set, I'm pretty familiar with at this point. I've opened a lot of these, and I'm just pretty familiar with Final Fantasy in general. Played a decent amount of them. Innistrad, I've opened a couple of packs. These sets came out when I wasn't actively playing, but I'm relatively familiar with the mechanics, and I've opened a few packs. Tarkir, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Never opened a pack up before because it came out in that period where I was not actively playing. So I'm excited about this one. Although I love dragons, even if they're not good dragons, just the fact that it's a dragon is pretty awesome. And I love vampires. I used to have a vampire deck, and back when I played, vampires were not actually a very common creature in Magic, and the few that there were generally pretty powerful. Ravnica came out and released quite a few more, if I remember correctly, and they started being weaker. But back in the day, Stanger Vampire, Sky Shroud Vampire, Stalking Bloodsucker, they were all just beefy, powerful, cool creatures. But anyway, I'm going to start with Final Fantasy. Wish me luck. If you're wondering why I'm opening all of these today, I've been saving them up for a while, planning on opening them, but I've got a card show to attend tomorrow, and I don't really want to be sitting on a bunch of potentially good cards that I could take to the card show with me. So timing-wise, it seemed like time to finally open these, and maybe I'll have some cool stuff to show off after the card show that I could share here. But I'm sure I'm going to be getting some more packs here soon, especially some more Pokemon Journey Together packs, because I'm still in my quest to find that stinking Lily's card. And also I'd like Articuno and some of the other cards in the set. But anyway, Final Fantasy. I'd love to get like a Sephiroth, would be great. Cloud. Anything valuable, but alright, here we go. Sabotender. I've already got some of these. Undercity Dire Rat. I do not have one of these yet. When this creature dies, create a treasure token. So, just a rat. That's kind of neat. Chocobo Kick. I've already got some of these. Looks like my partner is here. Gonna watch me open some more packs a little bit. I think I'll let him open the next Final Fantasy pack after this, but let me do this one. Dreams of Lasagna. It's Laguna. I dream of lasagna though. Magitech Infantry, Robot Soldiers, 1/1. Interesting. Okay. Blitzball. I'm not even going to read this one. I did not like Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. Adventures In. I already picked this one up. But it's kind of neat, I think. You just get some free life and it gives you some land. I mean, is that, what is that? Is that a colorless? Gives you colorless? Okay, well, whatever. Colorless mana and gives you a little bit of life. Freya. Oh, Freya from Final Fantasy IX. I love Final Fantasy IX. Rat Knight, that's pretty cool, too, that they actually made her a rat. I mean, I know she is a rat, so it makes sense, but that's cool. I'm super excited to have her, which would be a borderless or hollow, but still, she's cool. What's this here? Summon Fenrir. I don't remember Fenrir very much from the games. I know he's one of the summons, but it's a neat one. Owlbed Salvagers. I already drawn some of these in some previous pulls. I'm not familiar with this one. It's probably from one of the Final Fantasies I've not played. Vanille, Cheerful. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that says. It must be from one of the Final Fantasies I have not played. Full transparency, I've played 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 3, as well as Tactics Advance. I didn't finish that one though, and I did play a little bit of the original Tactics also. And I keep meaning to play 12. I've got it downloaded. The Earth Crystal, that's my rare. Green spells you cast cost 1 less. That's nice. Let's see. And if one or more one counter, I'm gonna look up the price on this one real quick. I'm not familiar with this. Oh, did not look it up. If one or more 1/1 counters would be put on a creature you control, twice that many 1/1 counters are. So that's cool. And anytime you get counters, you get extra counters. So it looks like it's not worth all that much. Actually, it's worth about $5-6 it looks like. So not too shabby. That pays for the pack, basically. Actually, I'm trying to remember how much the pack is. Ooh, my next one's more exciting probably. Actually, it's probably worth less though. Summon Primal Garuda. Now, I'm not familiar with Garuda. I'm not familiar with that summon at all, to be honest. I don't know which games they're in. Maybe they were in some of the ones I played, but the exciting part is it's a foil, as you can see. So, yeah. Camera's getting a little blurry there. Sorry about that. Give it a second to adjust. There you go, adjusted. Summon Primal Garuda. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one though, but I'm gonna look that one up on price charting real quick. It may not work because it's a weird card. Yeah, the scan's not working, so I'll have to look it up a little bit later, but my guess is it's worth a little bit. I'll ask Emerson to look that one up on the side while I do this. Here we looked it up. Oh, another. Actually, I'm excited about this one too. Guadasalam Farplane Gateway. It's a hollow land town. This land enters tapped and it gives you green or blue. And it's a hollow. Because it enters tapped, I'm guessing it's not worth all that much. Yeah, it looks like it's $1. But it's cool. I like it. It's a dual land, pretty art, and hollow. So I'm excited about that one. I've had pretty good luck, I feel like, with Final Fantasy. I have not drawn anything getting me big money, no Sephiroths or anything like that. But, I mean, I feel like every pack I'm getting my money's worth out of the packs. Emerson, while I do this, will you look that, see if you can find it? Do you want to open this second Final Fantasy pack? Alright, I'm going to hand it over to Emerson and let him open this next Final Fantasy pack. And while he does that, I will look up Primal Garuda.
Do you want me to read what it does?
Yeah. You can skim it a little bit. read what they are, and I'll let you know if it's worth reading it all. Sorry if you guys hear some dogs in the background.
Heck dies.
I like that one. I mean, it's nothing special. Oh, Fat Chocobo.
Huh.
That's like the third or
I
fourth
always
of those.
pull them.
Yeah, we keep getting that one.
Sage's Nolith.
Yeah, we've got a couple of that one now too. This must not be that big of a set. We keep getting the same
Weapons
one.
Haste Magic. Lunatic Pandora, I've pulled that. I'm gonna read it. For 2 mana and a tap, Surveil 1. For 6 mana and a tap, sacrifice the Lunatic Pandora and destroy target non-land permanent. Crossroads Village is this.
Little town.
Land Town. This land enters tapped. As it enters, choose a color. For 1 tap, add 1 mana of the chosen color.
Real quick, looked it up. It's not really worth anything. So
This
I didn't even read the abilities, but
Choco Comet.
That's interesting.
Choco Comet deals X damage to any target creature with a 2/2 green bird creature token. Whenever a land you control enters, this token gets a 1+0 until end of turn.
That's fun. Steiner. Yes.
Steiner.
I love Steiner. He's from Final Fantasy.
Legendary creature, human knight. Lifelink. Albert Steiner gets +1/+1 for each equipment you control. I don't know where my dad went. He just went running to his little room with all his collection.
Steiner. Sorry, I'm lame.
Cargo ship. Artifact vehicle. Flying vigilance. For a tap, add I'm not sure what that is. It's too close for it. Diamond.
It's mana. Add
colorless mana. Spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or activate an ability. Crew 1. Tap any number of creatures you control with total power of 1 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. Ooh!
The Emperor
of Palmacia?
I feel like we might actually have that one already.
I think so.
Actually,
but I don't think this is...
I think we have the art. Yes,
I pulled the art card for this.
I don't know who the Emperor of Palmacia is.
Tap, add water or fire mana. Spend this mana only to cast a non-creature spell. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, put a 1+1 counter on the Emperor of Palmacia. Then, if it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, transform it. This is the art. Transform. It is Lord Master of Hell. Yeah. Legendary creature, Demon Noble Wizard. Starfall. Whenever the Lord Master of Hell attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard.
Yeah, I feel like we've had pretty good luck with Final Fantasy. Again,
search up his
They're not necessarily super valuable, but they're all...
Summon Brynhildr.
I'm not familiar with that summon either. I don't know if it's just been too long since I played.
As this saga enters and after you draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 3. Chain. Exile the top card of your library during any turn. If you put a lore counter on this saga, you may play that card. 2 and 3. Grisalt mode. When you next cast a creature spell this turn, it gains haste until end of turn. Enchantment Creature Saga Knight. That's what it is.
But yeah, I think we've had pretty good luck.
Cloudbound Moogle. Creature Moogle. Flying. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Plane Cycling. For 2 mana. 2 mana, discard this card.
Is that a hollow?
Yeah.
Nice.
Search your library for a Plains card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle.
But we haven't drawn anything that's
its
worth
card.
a lot, like tons of money. But I feel like we get
Basic
solid,
land swamp.
nice full art swamp. I like those.
Creature token, hero. And
Chocobo.
bird.
Yeah. Like we haven't drawn anything that's worth a ton, but we get pretty solid pulls. Like I feel like we're at least whenever you get a pack of Final Fantasy, you tend to get your money back in the pack. I haven't been getting nothing to really write home about, but it's solid. Like I don't feel like I'm losing money. Like every pack is kind of fun. Like I'm getting something cool, characters I recognize, pretty art that I admire, and like I said, I feel like I'm at least each pack I at least get my money's worth. Now, the actual quality of the cards, like in a game, if they're good to play with, that I don't want to comment on because I've never played a game with the Final Fantasy cards. But I do appreciate the packs because I feel like every single time I get some kind of cool stuff and I get a decent amount of money. I mean, I haven't added it all up, but I'm sure we got our money's worth. Alright, I'm going to move now on to Innistrad. Not super familiar with it, but I've opened a few packs. I really liked vampires back in the day. I still like them now. I'm just disappointed that there's so many little weak, wussy vampires now. There used to be big, beefy, intimidating ones. Now there's like little 1/1s and 0/1 vampires. It drives me nuts. And the mechanics in this one, it reminds me of Torment from back in the day. That's back when I played. Focus on black, lots of graveyard-related things. This gothic horror set. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably already familiar with it. But here we go. I'm not super familiar with it, but we'll find out. First card in here already. Pretty neat. It's just a token. But Tamio, Field Researcher, emblem. It's pretty cool. Alrighty. So yeah, I'm not very familiar with this set, so I'm going to have to analyze it a little bit. Spontaneous Mutation, Flash, so you can play as an instant. Enchant creature, enchanted creature gets -X, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. So like I said, lots of graveyard related stuff, just like Torment. The whole Odyssey block was very graveyard focused. So yeah, pump things down. Destroy target, tapped creature. Madness, so you can play it as you discard it, I believe. If you would, yeah. Hungry Ridge Wolf. Okay, wolf. As long as you control another wolf or werewolf, this creature gets +1/+1, has trample. So it's actually it's a pretty good card, to be honest. Only 2 mana for a 2/2, nothing special there, but then it actually gets a little bonus. And if you're playing with a deck that has other similar creatures, it could be decent. It's certainly not powerful, but certainly not super weak. It's a 3/2 for 2 if you have a themed deck. Fungus, Spore Crawler. When this creature dies, draw a card. Okay, so not too exciting. It of the Horrid Swarm creature. See, now this is just me kind of whatever, but I'm not familiar with these Eldrazi or whatever. I've drawn a couple of these throughout different packs, and I do not know what they are. It must be something that's come along since I stopped playing, but yeah, I don't know what Eldrazi are. It of the Horrid Swarm. I drew one in I drew Eternities too. I don't actually know what they mean. I need to Google and find out what they are. But Whenever you cast a spell, create 2/1/1 insects. It's a 4/4 on its own, but it's 8 to cast. Jeebus. Emerge. You may cast a spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the emerge cost reduced by that creature's mana value. So emerge cost is 7. So sacrifice a creature and then subtract the cost of that creature from that 7. So that makes it much cheaper than the 8. So interesting card here. Harvest hand. Scarecrow, flip it. Oh, I like this next one already. Scrounge Scythe. Okay, it's a scythe. Scrounge Scythe. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Okay. I like the art for this next one at the very least. Blood Tithe Harvester. Harvester. 1 black, 1 red. 3/2, so it's a decent size. It's not one of the 1/1s and 1/0s, 0/1s, or 1/0. There's no such thing as a 1/0. 3/2 vampire. I like the art on that. I do not like that this creature can't fly, though. Strange to me when vampires don't fly. Although the Kravikan vampire did not fly back in the day. So let's check out that art. It's a pretty cool one. I've always just had a thing for the vampires. I love Krovax the Cursed, who counted as a vampire, and Baron Singer. So I like this one. Tackling Counterpart. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. That's an instant. So that's interesting. Just copy. It's like a clone. Oh, and it has a flashback. Another vampire. This is what. This one's a 3/1. No, so it's frail. It's only got 1 toughness. Beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in his hand, you draw a card. Another vampire. I've got this one. I drew this one before. Vampire Horror. This is going to be a longer video because I'm opening all these packs and kind of analyzing them. Shattered Sanctum. This one is actually probably worth a little bit because it's a really good land. White or black mana. It enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. There's a reasonable chance you'll control 2 or more other lands, so it's hopefully not going to enter tapped. So there's not really much downfall to this one, so it's really just a dual card land. Sorry about the noise in the background. So yeah, this is a good one. When this creature dies, middle 3 cards. It's a hollow here. It's a worm. It's a 7/6 bramble worm. Reach, so it can block flyers. Trample. When this creature enters, you gain 5 life. That's nice. Exile this card, you gain another 5 life. So 7/6. They can block flyers. Has trample and can potentially give you up to 10 life. And it's a hollow. And then an island. You know, I actually didn't even notice. What is my rare here? Oh, the rare is a land, and that's justified. That's a good card. So, all right. Sorry for the length of this video, but if you're into Magic, you probably do like a little bit of discussion. And if I am saying anything incorrect here, because of the fact that I am, just returning to Magic and not familiar with this set, feel free to chime in on the comments and tell me I'm wrong. Just be gentle, please, because I'm dumb. Equipped creature is flying. Nothing exciting there. Little vampire. This one, at least. 2/1. This creature has first strike as long as it's attacking. When this creature dies, create a blood token. That's interesting. It's an artifact with a play 1, discard a card, sacrifice a token, draw a card. So the blood token is basically just there, a little. It's an artifact. Not a creature, just an artifact, and then you sacrifice it to draw a card. But it's still interesting. I don't know if it's good, but it's interesting. So when it dies, you have a little artifact you can sacrifice to draw a card. Boar, trample, 3/3. Morbid, what is that mechanic? This creature enters with 2 1/1 counters on it if something else died this turn. That works with the whole horror graveyard theme. Strength of arms. Target creature gets +2/+2. Gather the townsfolk. I already have that. You get some tokens. Ecstatic Awakener. I believe I already have this one too. Yeah, I do. You can transform into a demon. The other one I have though is cooler because it's a hollow version. Now it's a little boring to me that the demon has literally no abilities. I mean, maybe you're trying to keep it at a certain level here and not have it be too powerful, but it's just a 4/4, and then demon has no abilities. Come on. But you know, whatever. Soul Cipher board. Artifact. This artifact enters with 3 omen counters. Look at the top 2 cards of your graveyard, put 1 into your graveyard. Whenever a creature card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, remove an omen counter. Then, if it has no omen counters on it, transform it. And it can become a 3/2 creature. Flying. This creature can block only creatures with flying. Kind of lame there. Draw 2 cards and discard a card. The ability's nice and the flying's nice and its strength is not too shabby. 3. Forbidden Alchemy. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put them back. This one's good. I keep making fun of vampires with a 0/1 or whatever, but this one actually has a decent ability. Whenever this creature or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain life. So it's a drain life for 1 every single time something dies. And this might die because it's so weak, but you gain life, drain life. And there we go, there's a rare. Angel Fire Ignition. I like that art. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. It gains vigilance, trample, lifelink, indestructible, and the haste to end a turn, and it has flashback. Interesting. It's a relatively inexpensive card too. But yeah. Oh, we already had this. We actually have drawn this one twice now. That's kind of lame. Not that the card is lame, it's lame that I've only opened 6 packs of this probably, and this is the 3rd one I've got of this. But Village Messenger, Human Werewolf, 1/1. 1/1 werewolf. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform this creature. Oh, okay, that makes sense. It transforms. And now it's a 2/2. Still weak, but I mean, whatever. Menace at the beginning of each upkeep. So, okay, not so bad. Artifact creature, Juggernaut. Galvanic Juggernaut. This creature attacks each comment of able. It's a 5/5 for 4. It doesn't untap, but then you can untap it if something dies. And it's a hollow. So not bad. 4 mana for a 5/5 that untaps whenever something dies. And you know what? I do not know what this is. Somebody leave a comment and tell me what in the world this is. I'll have to Google it. I guess it goes this way. But, okay. I'm all done now with, whatever. Innistrad. I like that set quite a bit, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, I like all of these sets, and it makes me sad looking back how much I missed in Magic. Because there's a lot of neat sets, I assume. I don't have the bandwidth to go and play like I used to, you know, I've moved away from all my friends and stuff that I used to play with. But it's a neat game. And it seems like they've added some cool mechanics and additional sets over the years. It's been many, many years since I played regularly, though, so I've just got so much I've missed. When I talk to people at card shows, they do seem fascinated because of the fact that I have so many old cards in my collection, and I can talk about the history more so, but they know all this stuff about the new mechanics. Like I don't know anything about like Commander, for example, because it was newish to me. But oh yeah, by the way, This is a set that I am not at all familiar with. I don't know any cards from this set. All I know is first time I ever buying these was today. I saw them in store. I was like, hey, I'm going to check it out. But dragons are awesome. So, trade envoy. Dog soldier. Oh, Emerson loves dogs. When this creature enters, draw a card. If you control a creature with a counter on it, if you don't draw a card this way, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It's a 4/3. Jeez. So you're telling me this dog is a stronger creature than that werewolf in the other pack I just drew, or that vampire lady who's a 0/1. I remember back in the day, there was a book. This is way back in the day, from Magic's olden days, and it described kind of what power and toughness represented, and it said comparatively like an elephant is like a 3/3, or I can't remember if it was a 3/3 or 4/4. And then we were thinking like, so that means like a Singer vampire is as strong as an elephant, or stronger than an elephant. Like, okay, so now with that context, this dog is as strong as an elephant. That is a powerful dog. Yeah, I just don't think they pay any attention to the power and toughness stuff, but it's a complicated game. It's tough to balance. But Emerson, you gotta check out this dog. It's pretty cool.
Is it one that I need to keep?
Here you go. Focus the mind. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you cast another spell this turn. Oh, that's pretty neat. Well, it's very expensive. Draw 3 cards and discard a card. Not bad. Mardu Devotee, Human Scout. When this creature enters, scry 2. So that means you can look at the top cards and put them back. Top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them at the bottom and the rest on top. And then you can transfer mana from one color to another, essentially, is what his ability is. Jin Artificer, so that's interesting. Jin. Meticulous Artisan, 3/3 for 4. Promise whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1. Till end of turn, so not permanent. This creature enters, create a treasure token. There's all sorts of these things where they just create random tokens that don't really do. You have to sacrifice or do whatever. That's a new thing to me. Back in the day when I played, that kind of mechanic didn't exist, but I see this in lots of different cards nowadays. Like that blood token thing too. Create a treasure token, sacrifice it, add a mana. Okay. Feral Deathgorger. That is a freaking awesome card. Awesome art and awesome name. It's only a common though, so this is not going to be worth anything, I can't imagine. Not to say no commons are worth anything. Revisiting Magic nowadays, discovered not too long ago that Rhystic Study is worth a ton of money, and I had a bunch of those in my deck because I used to play a ton during Prophecy. So I had like 8, and I had them in my like 50-cent bin, because back when I played, before pre-Commander days, Rhystic Study was not a powerhouse, super popular card. Anyway, so this one is neat. It looks neat to me at least. So 3/5 dragons, so decent strength out of weight, really expensive to cast. Now, this is weird to me though. I don't know how this works, but yeah, this is confusing to me. Flying Death Touch. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. So when this comes into play, just remove some cards from the game. Flies. Kills anything it touches, basically, with Death Touch. Put a 1/1 counter on one target creature. Draw a card. Yeah, I do not understand what this means on the left. I don't know. I'm not sure how this works. I'm guessing like there's this and this is his abilities, but I don't know what this Dusklight Sorcery Omen. Does that mean you can cast them both? Or not sure how this works. If anybody knows, chime in and tell me. But I've been absent from Magic for too long and I've never seen anything like this. So, and I'm not familiar enough with this set, but I'm wondering if that's what it means, is when you play it, essentially you could play that too, maybe? And I wonder how that works. I mean, if that's the case, it reminds me just like kickers from back in the day, where you just had a creature, you could play it, and if you play the kicker, then this other thing goes into play. If that's what it is. And if that is how this works, where it's just you could play that, then that's lame that they didn't just do the kicker thing. But anyway, I like this card. It's neat, and I'll have to look up what it does. I'm going to set that aside. Aggressive negotiations, like Star Wars. Padme says that. Sib-Sig Appraiser, Zombie Advisor, 2/1. When this creature enters, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Blah, 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 blah. Glacial Dragon Hunt. That is a cool picture too. Draw a card, then you may discard a card. When you discard on land this way, Glacial Dragon Hunt deals 3 damage to target creature. And then it's got Harmonize. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its Harmonize cost. You may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power, then exile the spell. That's strange. Let me reread that. Harmonize. You may cast this from your graveyard for its Harmonize cost, which is that. You may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost. So, cast it from your graveyard is not a new thing either. There's like flashback and buyback. But it looks like Harmonize is that same thing, whereas you can play it, or similar, whereas you can play it from your graveyard. It just has the option to reduce the cost by tapping creatures. So, I don't know. That's the kind of thing I'm not really a fan of, where they just kind of rehash old abilities. I'd rather they just bring back an old ability as opposed to just do like a knockoff ability that's practically the same thing, or just like change it slightly. Like, I don't know. But maybe I'm missing something here. I don't remember exactly how buyback worked. I remember how flashback worked. Well, buyback, I believe you could just keep buying it back for the cost. Flashback, you do it one extra time from your graveyard and then remove it from the game, if I remember right. And this is removed from the game. So it seems similar to flashback. It's just it has the option to reduce the cost. Desperate Measures. Target creature is +1/-1 on a turn. When it dies under your control this turn, draw 2 cards. Interesting. So, actually, that is really interesting, because you could just play it on a creature with 1 toughness, kill it, and just draw it 2 cards. You could essentially sacrifice a creature. So it's got some versatility here for this. Or you can use it to pump up one of your creatures with power, and then if it dies, you get to draw. Kin Tree Severance. Exile target permanent with mana value 3 or greater. So these split cost things were new-ish when I started playing, I believe. I think they came out in Ravnica. I think. Ravnica was the last set before I stopped playing that I ever bought cards from. And I bought a full box of Ravnica, but I never really played with it much. I just bought the box and ripped them. I know I got some good stuff, but yeah, so these, I'm not super familiar with how these work or whatever, or, the odds and ends of that, but I've seen these before. Spirit Soldier, Flash, plays an instant for a strike whenever another non-token creature you control dies. And Fenza endures 2. Put 2 1/1 counters on it, or create a white spirit token. So that's interesting. I like that. I'm going to look across this one up real quick, just because I think it's kind of cool. But this, again, apologies for the long video. Only worth $1.25 or so. Oh, I like this. Basically, yeah, that's a neat one. Glacier Wood Siege. I like all these. When I used to play back in the day and build up my collection, I have a huge collection of cards. I've been selling a decent amount of them, but I've got a ton of cards still. They did not have anything like this. They didn't have like essentially the only fancy cards they had were just foils, occasional hollows or whatever, right? But they didn't have the borderless cards. They didn't have the extended art cards. They didn't have the guest art cards. All this kind of stuff. That just didn't even exist. But this is neat. I like this. As this enchantment enters, choose Teamer or Sultai. Teamer whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell. Target player mills 4 cards. Sultai, you may play lands from it. So basically, just an enchantment that has 2 different things it can do, and you get to pick one. Interesting though. I like that. I would look it up, but it doesn't scan these very well. Yeah, so I'm gonna skip that. But yeah, so I've had some interesting stuff going on here. I don't know what the Eldrazi are. Don't know what the weird dragon split card is. I don't know what this blank thing is. So I'm learning a bit. I mean, I actually haven't learned anything, but it's triggering some things I need to look up. Jade Cast Sentinel. Neat, because it's foil. Hollow. It's got reach. Put target card from the graveyard to the bottom of its owner's library. And last, actually I'll just look at this one real quick. It's just a token. Tokens were new to me too, actually. I don't know how long they've been around, but I mean the existence of tokens is not a new thing, but like them coming in packs like this is a new thing. Burrowing Sands, it's a hollow. Hollow lands always actually seem to sell pretty well. Honestly, any non-basic lands seem to. This land enters tapped. Whenever land enters tapped, that people just don't seem to be into it at that point, and I don't blame them because it means you can't use it first turn if you're playing a speed game. When I used to play, I mostly played multiplayer, so speed wasn't a big thing back then. When this land enters, you gain life. That's cool. Multicolored land, and you gain a life, so that is pretty awesome. But the fact that it comes into play tapped, lame. But it's pretty. It's hollow. All right, I'm about to open my last pack. And this is a long video, so thank you for sticking with me. This will be all the packs I have sitting around at this point, and hopefully at the card show tomorrow I get some good stuff. I need to sort some of these before I go, and I need to look up some details. Leave me some notes in the comments if you have anything to say about these things, because I'm a noob to these sets, and there's some stuff I don't know. Human Rogue, Agent of Kotus. Kind of go through this one. Human Soldier, Dragonback Lancer, flying. Mobilize 1 whenever this creature attacks. Create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature. Oh, it's a 3/3. Orc Monk, 2 mana for a 2/2. You can transfer mana from one color to another, basically. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature gets +1/+1. Interesting. Come on, some dragons. Destroy target creature. Tap this. This spell costs 2 more to cast if it targets a dragon. So yeah, don't mess with dragons. Search your library for a basic land. 3/2 Golem. When this creature enters, target player mills 2 cards. You gain 2 life. Enchant creature gets +1/+1. It has flying. Cast a 5/5 green elephant creature token, and you can harmonize it and buy it back. It's expensive though. I want some dragons. Come on, the whole dragon set. I did get the 1 dragon, but it was a common. I think it's the only dragon I've gotten. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. Elemental 2/2 with haste. Okay, here we go. My rare is a land. This land enters tapped unless you control an island or swamp. So that's no big deal, right? Because you probably control an island or swamp. Gives you green. And then you can also surveil. Actually, it's pretty good. I bet this is actually worth something. I don't suspect it's worth a ton. When I say something, I literally mean something. Like, basically not 50 cents. That's one thing about Magic cards compared to Pokemon. When I open up a pack of Pokemon, almost everything's worth nothing, right? 50 cents or less. And then every now and then you get lucky and you get something worth a ton. Most X's and stuff worth $1 to $3, but you get lucky and pull a special art rare or whatever, hyper rare, and those are worth a ton. But more often than not, you can open a pack of Pokemon cards and you get nothing. But Magic, I feel like, is balanced. You always get, I feel like you get the pack's worth of cards. But anyway, yeah, this is only worth about $1.50 tops. It's what it appears, at least. But it's a neat enough card. Human Monk is a rare. 2/2 for 2 Fury. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, then exile a spell you cast with 4 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. This is confusing me now. At the beginning of its owner's upkeep, they remove a time counter. When the last is removed, they may play it without paying its mana cost. If it's a creature, it has haste. So it's a legendary creature. I didn't notice that. So when you cast your second spell you cast every turn, you make a copy of it, and then basically exile it, set it aside, and then it looks like you remove time counters every turn, and then you can play it when the time counters run out. So that makes sense, basically, right? When your second spell you cast every turn, you copy it and then can essentially cast that copy later. Interesting. Actually, I gotta look that one up too. I would not think it'd be worth a ton, but he's interesting. Yeah, a couple bucks. Like $2.50 or so, give or take. And I got a dragon. Actually, didn't I draw the dragon last turn, or did I just draw the one confusing one? Yeah, I did just draw that one confusing one. The Feral Death Gorger, who's cool. It has a split, and this one also has a split thing. So yeah, I definitely gotta look this up. This one though is a hollow, so that's cool. I'm guessing this is a theme in this deck. The names, even like the Dawnbreaker, Death Gorger, and then the split thing. This is interesting to me though. Flying and vigilance at the beginning of combat. In your turn, another target creature you control gets +1/+0 till end of turn. Yeah, I gotta look this up. I am curious if it just means like when you play this, can you cast that, or is it something you can cast while this is in play? Is it something? I wouldn't think that it'd be something you can just play when this is in play. I would think it'd be something you have to play as you cast this creature, not necessarily something you play like, that you can just cast at any time while this is in play. But I don't know. It doesn't have any rules or guidance on this. So this is sorcery. It's just like this is a random sorcery attached to this, which it makes me think that when I play this, I can choose to play the two, and this also takes effect. But maybe it's also that just once this is in play, you can play this, and maybe it's a one-time thing. Like one time you can play that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to look it up. But somebody explain to me in the comments if they know. But I think this is neat. Tranquil Cove, another one of those lands. This one is just the blue and white version. You gain life and enters tapped. But entering tapped is not great, but probably only worth like $1. And then last but not least is the token. So yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me and watching me do all this. Maybe you skipped around a bit, but I find all these sets pretty interesting, and I'm really enjoying kind of relearning and catching up on Magic. Excuse me. Over the last 10 years or so, where I missed it. Thank you for tolerating my ignorance as I do try to relearn it. There's a lot of new abilities and creatures and sets and everything that I have to learn. But, you know, like I said, I used to play it a ton, so I do have a pretty basic understanding of the game, and I have been doing a little bit of arena. And talking to players at card shows and whatnot. So, yeah, I will thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to watch me open more packs and see what's going on. Because I got to buy a bunch of new packs now that I've opened everything. Pokemon and Magic. If you guys keep watching, it gives me an excuse to keep on buying cards. And I want to continue buying cards because I like making the videos. I like hoarding cards. I like and selling the good ones. It works out for me. So it's almost an hour-long video, so I better end it now. But thank you guys, and have a good one.